film begins with a horrifying scene in a war zone in the Middle East. A group of U.S. Special Forces soldiers is captured and brutally tortured in a cramped hideout. As the situation becomes perilous, female soldier Wine almost faces the same fate as her teammates. However, Captain Jesse Freeman intervenes, telling the enemy that she knows nothing. Jesse's defiance enrages the enemy soldiers, and they continue to demand answers. Despite being electrocuted and beaten, Jesse remains determined to protect his teammates and refuses to give any information. Tensions among the enemy soldiers rise, and they begin arguing and attacking each other in chaos. Jesse pretends to faint, leaving his captors desperate for the information they are seeking. While the enemies continue to fight without realizing it, Jesse quickly frees himself and attacks them, catching them completely off guard. Jesse fought fiercely, saving 2 teammates and turning the situation against their captors. However, the danger was not over. Soon after, the enemy activated a bomb in the hideout, forcing Jesse and his team to make a daring escape. During their flight, the bomb exploded, seriously injuring all 3 soldiers, leaving only Jesse alive. Years later, Jesse retired and now lives a peaceful life with his family, including his wife, Alicia, and their 2 children, Ryan and Mara. Although Jesse works as a security guard, he is often busy with his job and neglects his family. Concerned about his absence, Alicia urges him to spend more time with their children. The 2 kids have never gotten along, creating tension at home. As a caring father, Jesse decides to follow Alicia's advice and spend time with his children. He plans to take them to his workplace, a basketball stadium owned by an NBA team. On the day of their visit, there happened to be a special basketball game at the stadium. Jesse took Ryan and Mara to watch, telling them it would be an unforgettable experience since Mayor Christine and Governor Paul would also be there. In addition, the stadium's new millionaire owner, Diana, would be present. Mara's face lit up with excitement at the news. Meanwhile, in another part of the stadium, Diana and her boyfriend, Millie Hip, arrived and were immediately surrounded by reporters and fans. Back with Jesse, he continued showing Ryan and Mara around the stadium, introducing them to his boss, Devlin Montez, and the gatekeeper, Gus. The kids were fascinated by the backstage area and eager to explore more. Meanwhile, the stadium security was on high alert because some suspicious individuals claimed to be Wi-Fi service staff. After being checked, they were allowed into the stadium. Jesse escorted Ryan and Mara to their seats, but 2 unruly spectators caused a disturbance, forcing Jesse to step in and take control of the situation. While Jesse was handling the situation, Ryan and Mara stayed alone for a short time in another area of the stadium. The new owner, Diana, and her boyfriend Millie Hip were warmly welcomed by Governor Paul and Mayor Christine. They expressed their gratitude to Diana for her contributions to the city's development, including managing the beloved basketball stadium, which few people knew about. Meanwhile, a group of intruders had entered the stadium disguised as Wi-Fi service staff. They hacked into the security system and the bomb facilities at strategic locations, then dressed in security uniforms to blend in with the legitimate staff. The basketball game began, and Job's team started taking out the real security personnel, creating chaos and confusion throughout the stadium. Despite the turmoil, Ryan and Mara were unaware of the danger and enjoyed the game from their seats in another section. Diana, Millie, Governor Paul, and Mayor Christine watched comfortably from the VIP room, while Jesse worked to capture the intruders and prevent the bomb from exploding. Job and his team managed to get into the VVIP room where Diana, Millie, Governor Paul, and Mayor Christine were. Job pretended to be a security guard and tried to deceive everyone by claiming to be a huge fan of Millie while hiding his true plan to steal Diana's property. Tension in the room escalated when Job drew a gun, frightening everyone. Although Governor Paul tried to reason with him, the situation quickly spiraled out of control when Job shot him. The horrifying scene left everyone in the room stunned and in disbelief. Meanwhile, the basketball game continued. Ryan was completely absorbed in the action, while his sister Mara paid little attention to the game and kept bothering him with questions about their father, Jesse, who worked in stadium security. Ryan dismissed her concerns, believing their father's job was not important. Frustrated by her brother's indifference, Mara suddenly realized she needed to use the restroom but didn't know where to go. She sneaked into the security staff's restroom and found a horrifying scene. The security guards had been brutally attacked by Job and his team. Before she could escape, Mara was captured by Job's group to prevent her from reporting the incident. Meanwhile, Job demanded that Diana transfer $1 billion into a secret bank account. Then, Job ordered a team member, Gamma, to disable the stadium's communication system to prevent the security staff from contacting each other. Back at the stadium, Jesse discovered that his daughter Mara was missing and became very worried. He was frustrated that Ryan showed no concern for his sister. Jesse found a tracking device connected to Mara's VIP card and quickly activated it. However, Job's team had already captured Mara and taken control of the VIP card. They realized Jesse was tracking it and used it to trap him for their criminal activities. Jesse was confused when some of his fellow security staff suddenly turned against him. Although he didn't want to fight, he had no choice but to defend himself.
Where is she? Bad. Belong to a little girl.
I don't know anything about a little girl.
With his experience as a security officer, Jesse charged in and quickly defeated the attackers. After taking down Job's team and removing his name from the target list, another security officer, Gus, approached him. Gus noticed something unusual about the security staff that day and shared his suspicions with Jesse, explaining that most of them had been replaced by new personnel. Jesse's suspicion grew, and he decided to investigate further. Jesse and Gus tried to reach the security center, but it was too late. Job's team had taken over the area and seized control. Jesse and Gus had to act quickly, hiding in the lounge to stay safe. Jesse noticed that Job's team was using advanced automatic weapons, clearly showing they were a dangerous and well-organized criminal group. While being pursued, Mara tricked Omega and tried to escape. She was caught again but had managed to hide in the VVIP room beforehand. Eventually, Diana realized that Job was actually a former CIA agent who had been dismissed for killing a Muslim family he accused of being terrorists. Diana revealed this information to the others, which angered Job and immediately led him to threaten her. Meanwhile, Jesse and Gus unexpectedly encountered a member of Job's team, Gamma, who was planting a bomb. Jesse asked Gamma about the secure tablet and her base, and whether she was the new security officer, but she could not provide the necessary information. Jesse tried to apprehend Gamma, but the task proved extremely difficult. Even Gus was no match for Gamma, forcing Jesse to face this formidable woman alone in an exhausting battle. In the end, Jesse won. He wanted to know where his daughter was, but Gamma insisted that he didn't know. Shockingly, Gamma declared that they would all die after the basketball game ended and promptly shot himself in the head. Jesse sprang into action, disabling the bomb that Gamma had planted. Fortunately, his military training had prepared him for such situations, allowing him to easily defuse the explosive device. With the threat eliminated, Jesse and Gus immediately turned their attention to rescuing Mara and the other hostages trapped in the stadium. In the VVIP room, Job's anger erupted after Diana provoked him. His fury stemmed not only from her taunts, but also from memories of his family's tragic fate at the hands of the government. Diana callously claimed that Job's family had abandoned him because of his own mistakes, which only fueled his rage. In his fury, Job lunged at Diana, but stopped short of killing her. Instead, he forced her to choose between sacrificing her boyfriend Millie or Mrs. Mayor Christine. Fortunately, this horrifying plan was thwarted when Diana's payment was transferred into Job's bank account. Right after Job contacted Gamma to check their progress, he was shocked to hear Jesse on the other end. Job immediately sent his team to find and eliminate Jesse, and his worry grew when he heard that Gamma might be dead. Just as hope seemed lost, Omega arrived with Mara. While the VVIP room was filled with tension and hostility, the arena and stands were alive with energy as the crowd cheered and celebrated. Jesse returned to Ryan in a state of panic. Jesse and Gus worked tirelessly to find the remaining bombs. When their progress stalled, they paused to devise a new strategy. Following Gus's advice, Jesse went to the control center, where he tried to persuade an officer named Bain to trigger the evacuation alarm. Before they could do so, two members of Job's team stormed in and attacked them. Jesse tried to escape, but Bain was tragically shot amid the chaos. Desperately searching for a place to hide, Jesse unexpectedly encountered Diana, who was revealed to have been his boss all along. As he explained the situation to her, Devlin suddenly appeared, pointing a gun at Jesse and revealing that he was also part of Job's team. Jesse felt shocked and betrayed by his boss. He realized he was truly alone in the fight to save Mara and the hostages, with no other options. Jesse quickly disarmed Devlin and fought him. Although Devlin tried to overpower him, Jesse easily defeated him and took his listening device. He used it to trick Job into believing Devlin was still alive. When he learned Mara was with Devlin, Jesse immediately set off to rescue his daughter. Joe began to panic upon learning about Jesse's impressive background as a U.S. Special Forces officer. Hiding his fear, Job attacked Mara and ordered Omega to kidnap Ryan, hoping to gain leverage in negotiations with Jesse. Omega was assigned to persuade Ryan to leave the stands, but Ryan remained obedient to his father's orders. Despite Omega's best efforts, he could not convince Ryan. Meanwhile, a member of Omega's team used surveillance cameras to locate Jesse and immediately ordered Omega and 2 other team members to eliminate him. While searching for Mara, Jesse outsmarted the trio and lured them into a room where he easily defeated them thanks to his military training. After incapacitating Omega, Jesse forced him to reveal Mara's location and immediately killed him. Seeking help, Jesse contacted Gus, who had more expertise. Due to the stadium's layout, Jesse asked to avoid the usual routes to the VIP room and chose a surprise approach. When Jesse shared the information with Gus, he was shocked to discover that there were still active bombs in the stadium, making coordination with Jesse impossible. Knowing the match was about to end, and the bombs in the VIP room would soon detonate, Gus decided to disable them himself. He prepared to handle the detonator, but at that moment, Jesse rushed into the room and shattered the glass. Although Jesse appeared suddenly, Job was fearless and pressed the detonator, causing a bomb to explode. Fortunately, Gus had successfully disarmed the other bombs, leaving Job confused as to why his bomb did not go off. In a short time, Jesse quickly took down Job and his team, saved himself, and brought Mara along while escaping. Jesse then ran into the panicked crowd after the explosion. Alicia, Jesse's wife, was informed about the bomb and the explosion at the stadium and immediately rushed to the scene. As Jesse and Joe prepared for the final battle, Ryan, watching from the stands below, observed them from the upper corridor of the arena. Although Jesse fought well at first, he began to tire when Joe drew his last weapon. Jesse fell, leaving Mara to witness her father's struggle. In a desperate attempt to protect her, Jesse kicked Joe in the groin, making him furious and causing him to throw Mara to the ground. Despite this, Jesse quickly got back on his feet to save his daughter. In a shocking turn of events, it was discovered that Job had implanted a bomb in Diana. Suddenly, Diana appeared from behind and aimed a gun at Job. He underestimated her ability to use the weapon, but Diana fired, surprising everyone. Jesse quickly seized the opportunity to attack Job, but he realized the bomb inside Job's body was about to explode. In a swift move, Jesse kicked Job, causing the bomb to detonate harmlessly in the air. The story ends on a positive note. Jesse's family is safely reunited, and the stadium is saved from disaster. Diana approaches Jesse and offers him the position of head of stadium security. Although pleased with the offer, Jesse declines, choosing to prioritize time with his loved ones. The lesson of the story is never to underestimate the importance of finding a restroom, because you never know what dangerous situations you might encounter.